Hey, my name's Scout. This is going to be the video demonstration for the second Fluent project. We're going to be going over how to go like access our data points. So since I just completed my initialization and calculation. So now that I'm still in Fluent, I can go over and check out our skin friction coefficient and drag coefficient. So we're going to go here to reports. You can go over here to forces, that. And then get that, make sure all that's the same from flat plate, and then print. So we have over here, we have flat plate, the forces over here, and then the coefficients. And so we can see that there's no pressure drag, but there is like viscous drag across the surface of the flat plate. So that's going to be our coefficient, our drag coefficient. And now that we have that, we can go over to find our skin friction coefficient. So we go to surface integrals, port type, percentage. And then we go over to flat plate, we compute. No, that's we have to go over here. Go to wall fluxes, and then skin friction coefficient, compute. And now this will be our skin friction coefficient across the flat plate. What you can see is the same as the drag force coefficient that we have here, because all the drag force is coming from the viscous like skin friction over here. So now that we have those, I'll go ahead, go to our results tab, and then show you how to get the velocity profiles as well as the shear stress. So now that we are in the post analysis, first thing we're going to do is click Z-axis so we can view our flat plate. I'm going to go ahead and create a couple lines. So this one's going to be our line at 35 centimeters. So that's going to be 0.35. And then I'm just going to do a line up to about say the height of this is like 10 centimeters. Apply here. Oh, make sure our sample count is, this is when we do the velocity profile, we get more data points. Apply. So we have here. Now we're going to make another line. 75 centimeters, yep. So same thing, just come over here. Just samples. So that's what we have here. So now that we have those, we can go over to chart over here, velocity. So in here, we're going to go to data series, and then go to, just name this x equals 35 centimeters. Attach it to that line. Velocity u, next direction, the axis y value. Hit apply. So we can see that line right there. Now we'll go over, do the same thing with our line at 75 centimeters. Plug in those same values over here. Now we can see this. So we can see a little difference in where you see like the boundary layer. So that's going to be like here for the line at 35 centimeters, and then over here for the line at 75 centimeters. You can see how this one's more developed because it has more time to develop that. boundary layer. We're going to go back here and we're going to make the vector field. So first thing we're going to do, like this. Velocity vectors. Location is going to be symmetry right here. Go ahead and put vertex. 10,000. Velocity. The symbol, I like to use the 2D arrow. Size this down a little bit. File. Check it. We can even see them. No. Alright, so I went ahead and messed around with the settings. What I got, I used the vertex sampling, still on symmetry 1. Go ahead and make it 100,000 max number of points. You could probably do more. And then the symbol, I'm just using 3D arrow, but it's at 0.03. And then uncheck that normalize symbols box. And you can kind of see here we have, as you go higher in Y, increase your velocity up to this kind of boundary layer right here, where it stays the same velocity. You can also go ahead and check out, so if we go to the beginning, where boundary layer starts, see the flow hits here, and it starts to develop. It's pretty small. And then if you go down over here towards the end of the plate, or the flat plate, you can see how that boundary layer has fully developed, and there's a more gradual increase in the velocity profile. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and make another line. We're going to call this shear stress, or we'll name the line the wall, flat plate. And then we can define this line. We're going to keep the x value 0, and then we're going to keep the y value 0, and then this one's going to be at 100 centimeters, 1 meter. And then now we can go ahead and make another chart. I'm going to name this the shear stress profile, or just shear stress. And then I'm going to go here. Name this shear stress. Oh, not apply yet. But here, wait. The custom data selection, we're going to click for the x-axis. It's going to be the x value, and then for the y-axis, we're going to go here, click wall shear. Well, first we got to go to the plate, make sure that our sampling is pretty high, so we don't get something like that. And then here we go. So you can see there's a high shear stress as the start of the flat plate, and then it decreases, and then gets to a steady decrease as we travel further down the plate. So one last thing, guys, we're going to go ahead and make a pressure contour. Pressure contour. And so it's going to be symmetry 1. Variable is going to be pressure. I'm going to turn this up to like 100, so it's not super choppy. And then we can see here, well, this pressure right here at the start of the plate. So when that boundary layer is starting, and then it decreases as you go along. So that's going to about wrap it up for this project. Showed you how to get those data points after you have completed the calculation for the flat plate. So